Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time of the day you may be watching this broadcast, this is Dr. Eric Tangumonkem with IEM Approach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this broadcast. We are honored to have you here. If you are watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, I want to encourage you to please share this broadcast so that other people can benefit. I will also appreciate if you can invite other people to join us. We are having a crucial conversation that I think is very important for us to have because of the benefits that are going to come out of it. You may not be an immigrant, but you are working with immigrants. You may not be an immigrant, but you have immigrant friends. You may not be an immigrant, but you've employed immigrants. If you've not encountered any immigrants yet, sooner or later, you will. This broadcast is not just for immigrants. It's for anybody who interacts with immigrants. It's very important for you to know some of the challenges that immigrants face. It's crucial for you to have this information so that when you interact with immigrants, you will be able to add value in their lives. When you interact with them, your interaction will be fruitful. In one of the broadcasts, I mentioned how when I just moved here and somebody heard about the amount of debt that I was having and how difficult it was for me to pay off the debt. And this person trying to help, I'm not blaming them at all, suggested that I go back to my country of origin, work, pay off the debt, then I can come back to the US and go to school. If this person had more information, if this person was more knowledgeable about where I was coming from, I think he would have come up with a different advice. There's always going to be some awkwardness associated with interacting with other people. And part of having this conversation is to help remove some of that awkwardness. The more we can learn about where we are coming from and where we are going, the better for us. I've written a book. The book is here. 52 proven strategies that will position you to excel as an immigrant in the United States. It's not just for immigrants in the United States, but immigrants all over. I'm focusing on the United States because it's where I've lived now for 19 plus years. And my hope is that you are going to be able to learn from some of the experiences I and other immigrants have had. Well, you may be wondering, why another book? Why did I write this book? What is it that I'm trying to achieve? I've promised you that for the next 52 days, we are going to dive into 52 different critical areas. I am not saying that those 52 areas are the only areas that you need to be thinking about, but I think that the critical ones, more can be added But if you can harness those 52 areas, you are going to be unstoppable. You will succeed on your mission, on why you migrated to the United States or any other country that you may be living in. There are many reasons why this book has been written. I didn't write it just because of we need another book. I wrote the book because when I came here, there wasn't a resource like this that laid out a roadmap for me to follow, a roadmap for me to be able to use so that I'll be able to navigate the complexities of living in the United States. Take, for example, I stayed in the United States of America for 12 years without private life insurance. Can you imagine what would have happened to my family if, God forbid, something had happened to me and I died? Just imagine that. I would have left my kids, my wife, without anything to lean on. We're going to touch on that, on the importance of having life insurance. It's not just enough to have insurance at work. You need to be able to understand the tools that are available and take advantage of them. The other thing is this: I missed out for more than 10 years. I did not save a dime. 10 years, I did not save a dime. There are times now that I wonder, what if I could have even saved just $25 each month over a period of 10 years, just $25 each month over a period of 10 years. The power of compound interest would have done wonders for me. You may be wondering, maybe you are in shock why I didn't save a dime over a 10-year period. It's because as a new immigrant, or I was still trying to figure out if I was going to stay in the US or not. And all that clouded my judgment. I didn't really understand the markets or what tools and vehicles were available for me to utilize. You may be ahead of the game, but I want to assure you there are lots of people here that are still trying to figure out what to do. And that's why, as I said yesterday, you are going to make your own mistakes. That's fine. However, it's not being smart if you repeat the same mistakes other people have made. That's why I wrote this book, so that you will avoid making the mistakes other immigrants have made, so that you avoid making the mistakes I made. I'm going to be very open. I will share with you my own mistakes. And my hope is that you will hit the ground running, because some of the pitfalls are going to be exposed to you and you will be able to escape them. It doesn't make sense for you to repeat mistakes other people have made. Learn from other people so that you can move faster. This conversation is for you to ponder upon why you moved to the United States in the first place. Yeah, when you talk to most immigrants, the focus is on the American dream, earning as much money as possible. I'm not against you making as much money as possible, but I think there are other things that are more valuable than money. And I wrote this book to draw your attention to that. Seek wisdom, seek knowledge, seek understanding. If you have these three, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, they will bring you all other good things that you need. I wrote this book to let you know that life in the United States is very difficult. You are going to have to work extremely hard. You are competing with the best of the best. There are people from all over the world. The challenges are immense. And just because you show up is not guaranteed for success. And success should be holistic. It's not just about the size of your house. It's also about the quality of your marriage, the quality of your relationship. It's also about how your children are doing. It's also about your health. We're going to touch on all these things so that you can have holistic success, so you can thrive in this new environment that you find yourself. The other reason I wrote this book is to address some issues that we hear about, we complain about, we feel uncomfortable about, but we hardly have thoughtful conversations, and solutions have not yet been provided. For example, when you talk to lots of immigrants, they brought in family members, cousins, nephews, aunts, brothers, sisters, and stayed together. And along the line, those relationships ruptured, problems developed, and relationships became strained. This is something that can be avoided. If you have been through it, you understand how painful it is that all of a sudden your cousin that you went this extra mile for to bring them into the country, to live with you, you no longer talk to each other, or your aunt or your uncle or your brother that you brought in, out of a sudden, there's enmity that creeps in. It's not America, it's just that we need to think through these things. And there are solutions in the book about what you can do to avoid these pitfalls. The list of the 52 different areas that you need to be thinking about is not exclusive, but there are critical areas that if you can put in some time to think about each area, develop yourself in those different areas, you are going to do well. It's always somehow tempting. It's somehow tempting for people to think that the opposition they are facing, the resistance they are facing is from other people. No, it will be important for you to understand that you are up against some challenges, and if you prepare yourself, you are going to do well. This is the beginning of our conversation, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about you being unstoppable. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to meeting you tomorrow as we continue this conversation. You've been listening to Dr. Eric Tangumonkem with IEM Approach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. God bless you. If you have any questions, there's a phone number on the screen. reach out to us. If you want to use the email, we have an email on the screen as well, eternalkingdom101. Reach out to us and let's continue this conversation. God bless you.